Hey guys, it's Dr. Spencer here, the Doc Who Lifts, and I wanted to make a quick video on how to make these fitness memes since I get about 20 questions per day on how to actually do this. I feel like since I started doing this a couple years ago, but was sporadic about it, I felt like making a video just to make it a lot easier for everybody would make a lot of sense. So here we go. So why do you want to do this? A lot of people have been making comments about how they're stupid and how they're worthless, etc. But I think, at least for my patients, I've found they're very easily digested. They're easily digestible, and they're very good for the general population. Can they convey as much as a good video or a blog or a good article? Maybe not, but they're quick little snippets of information which get people hopefully good information. It's a double-edged sword because if you don't know what you're talking about, you can confuse a lot of people too. So anyway, it's also good to make your following on Instagram a lot bigger. I notice it doesn't work as well for Facebook, as I'll show you here soon. It does help you strive to figure out how to make things simpler, complex topics simpler, and maybe it's not possible for certain topics. I've tried pretty hard on a few things, and I think I was successful. And then also it just gets you in the habit of creating new content, which then you can repurpose later, make blogs, make videos, etc. So it is a good habit to get into, and I'll show you why here in a second. So here's a quick history. In June 2015, over a couple years ago, I made this simple comparison of calories in a McDonald's versus a home-cooked meal. It did very well on Facebook, as you can see here. And I did something similar here a few days later. Fast forward, like less than a year, I made this simple one comparing breakfast cereal to ice cream. And it did pretty well. You can see it did well on Facebook. I wasn't into the Instagram scene just then. And then this is like the big one that did really well. You can see it got over 1,000 likes, over 2,000 shares on Facebook. This was, I think it did so well back then because it was a novel idea. Obviously, it's been diluted recently, but I was also not big on Instagram, so maybe on Instagram this would have done well back then, but it's hard to reshare and everything on Instagram. But this was back in April 2016. You can see here my man Carter Good. He started doing it February and March of this past year. And I don't know how many likes he had. He could probably share with you if he wants. But this is I went back in his, and this is the first I saw of his comparison chart. Now I don't know if people were doing it before me, but I want to show you how powerful this is with Carter, and also with Jordan. So here's Jordan Syatt. This was the first time he had ever posted. He just posted one of mine, the peanut or the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup versus Justin's, the organic food one. And you can see here in March 24 of this year, he had over 1,000 likes. That's about double than any of his posts before. And so Jordan at this time thought, well, geez, I'm putting all this effort into, all these posts on Instagram. At the time, I remember, I think he only had like 12,000 likes. So you'll see what happens soon. But he posts this in March 24, realizes, hey, this is getting more traction than any of my other posts. And so Jordan starts realizing this is powerful, talks to his buddy Carter Good too, which I'll show you here. Look at this. In a couple weeks, he makes one himself, makes over 2,000 likes. So that's his most likes before was like 500 or 600. So this ends up quadrupling how many likes he was getting before. You can see here, Carter, I don't know how many likes he had when he first started this, but this is just in less than a year. He has 240,000 followers on Instagram. That's amazing. Now you can see he has very dreamy eyes as well if you look below. This is pretty cool. And then you can see Jordan, I remember he had like 12,000 followers when we talked back in March. And now he has over 170,000 followers. So it's pretty powerful stuff. You can see my crappy little 42. I mean, that's still good. I'm not very consistent with it. I'm going to teach you a few things. You have to be consistent with it. And you actually, you have to do a good job. I can tell which ones do well and which ones don't. The simpler is almost the better. And I'll just get into that real quick here. This one is one I did back in May. My Instagram posts only got like, I don't even know, maybe 100 likes if I was lucky. I started doing this quickly. All of a sudden, I got over 7,000 likes for this stupid meme I made in approximately 15 minutes. That's pretty cool, right? So let me show you how these actually are done. So you go to canva.com, click on social media. You want this to be a square so it fits the Instagram canvas there. Because otherwise you'll have to use an app to make it a square fit. Anyway, so do the social media one, 800 by 800. And if you want to make this clean like Jordan's, which I suggest you do, because I found those are actually the best, you go to elements, you go to lines, put this line here, set it up here. You can make it a little bit thinner if you want, like this. Stretch it out. Okay? Then, in order to make sure that nobody steals this, although people will steal it, just accept that fact. You can make a little text here at FitMemer. Put it up here. Change it to white. There you go. Now, the key to making these things really nice is that you want to have a big fat headline. And Jordan does a very good job at this. He attracts people with a big, exciting headline. So let's just do one called Strawberries Are King. Something stupid like that. Change the font so it's not that font, that April fat face. I don't like it. I notice people use that because it's the default. Don't use that one. It's not attractive. Make it something simple like this. You can make it bigger if you want. You can bold it. You could even do something like this where you make it even bigger, separate them, boom. You could even change the colors. There you go. So now you got a headline, right? Pretty simple and easy. The next thing you do, though, you want to have images for this. And so how do you do that? You can search, if you want to do strawberries. You could use, you could use one of these where you have to pay. That's not ideal, even though that makes it legal. What I learned how to do is, I think this is legal, I'm pretty sure. So I do strawberry PNG. Now you want to find the images that are by these, like PNG, IMG, PNG, ALL, PNG Mart. The reason is because I believe these are free. So if you actually visit the page, is this actually going to pop up here? So these type of sites, they say that these images are free for download, and I don't believe you get in trouble for that. I don't believe. So you can just do this. You save image as. Save it. You go back here to your uploads, and then you just drag it in. Then all you have to do as it uploads, sorry about that. I don't know what's taking so long. I have Verizon Fios, I swear. Okay. You drag it in, you size it however you want. If you want to start making little comments about these things. You just have to play around. So you can, actually, I don't like that one. Let's see. I don't know. You can play around with this. So you can go this and then start. Yeah, if you want to change the color or whatever. You can start getting really creative with this. You know, make some more text about it. Blah, 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 blah. Vitamin C, etc., etc. I don't think this is the best line. I'm not really sure. There's a bunch of other ones in there, but either way, so you can see how this process is. And so once you understand how easy it is to make these things, make your own template so that it's always the same. All you have to do now is go to File and make a copy. So yes, it will be the same as the one before, but then all you have to do is go blueberries, and change it to blue, and repeat the process, etc., etc. What's really cool is that with this framework in mind, you can start thinking about concepts that you think are complex and then changing them into simple infographics. So here's one. I like to give credit where credit's due. I learned a lot of this from my obesity conferences. These people aren't on Instagram, but my boy Alan and James, and I forgot to put Brad as well. They did a meta-analysis looking at frequency of eating and fat loss and found likely no difference. So anyways, I was trying to figure out a way to show this. So I basically found meals that were and those PNG sites, and started writing away. Okay, and that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. But get out there and start trying to create, complex ideas into simple infographics. Now, again, make sure that you're putting the right information out there, because I keep seeing things out there. It's like, well, that's kind of correct, but the whole point of these things is to give good information out to the general population so they understand. People want short snippets of information. However, double-edged sword again, because if you're giving crappy information and spreading it, that just defeats the whole purpose. So, happy memeing. Hope this helps.